Hey everyone! Welcome back to my One Heart One Love channel. In today's video we're going to be diving into the common yet messy trap of expecting too much from our romantic partners. This is something I've struggled with in the past in my own relationships, so I really empathize with how tough it is to overcome. But with self-awareness, communication skills and a few attitude adjustments, we can definitely learn to keep our expectations healthy and realistic. After all, our partners are humans too, not fairy tale heroes. Today we'll talk about Number 1. The key reasons why we tend to expect too much in relationships. Number 2. How Disney, Hollywood and social media skew our standards. Number 3. Childhood attachment patterns and self-esteem issues that can fuel expectations. Number 4. The problems unrealistic expectations create. Resentment, disappointment, control issues. Number 5. Tips and techniques to identify and express your needs directly. Number 6. How to focus on your partner's wonderful unique traits. Number 7. Letting go of the need to control and relaxing perfectionistic standards. Number 8. Compromising when you and your partner have different expectations. Number 9. Nurturing self-compassion in this process of growth. I think you'll find this a really helpful perspective whether you're coupled up now or just planning for future relationships. Let's get started. Reasons why we expect too much. Before we get into solutions, it's important to understand what tends to cause us to put unfair expectations on our partners in the first place. Some common reasons include: Number 1. Comparing our real-life relationships to fantasies and ideals from movies, books and social media. Seeing picture-perfect, fictionalized relationships sets an unrealistic bar. Number 2. Making comparisons between our own relationships and our friends' or family members' relationships. Each relationship is completely unique, so judging yours as better or worse than others doesn't make sense. Number 3. Carrying over childhood attachment patterns, like having a fearful avoidant attachment style due to distant caregivers. This can create relationship anxiety and expectations designed to avoid further hurt. Number 4. Lacking self-esteem and self-validation. When you don't love yourself fully, you might use a romantic partner's attention and affection to fill that void. But true validation must come from within first. Number 5. Having been hurt before and therefore putting up walls of expectations to protect yourself. But this puts immense pressure on partners. Number 6. Simply fearing disappointment and heartbreak. We all want our romantic relationships to fulfill us completely. But holding on to that desire too tightly can sabotage the real thing. As you can see, so many of the tendencies that fuel unfair expectations stem from difficult childhood experiences and societal messages that skew our sense of what love should be. Self-awareness is key to noticing these patterns within yourself. How unrealistic expectations damage relationships. Expecting a level of perfection that is impossible for any partner to achieve puts a huge strain on a relationship. Unfair expectations breed resentment, disappointment and mistrust between partners. Here are some of the common issues they create. Number 1. Constant frustration and arguments because your needs will invariably go unmet at times, which is to be expected in any relationship between two flawed humans. Number 2. Toxic control dynamics because you feel the need to try to force your partner to act in the idealized way you envision. This strips them of freedom and agency in the relationship. Number 3. Eventual emotional distance and shutdown between partners when the expectations become too draining for either side to bear. Number 4. Losing sight of your partner's wonderful unique qualities because you're focused on how they fail to measure up to your perfect standards. Number 5. Decreased intimacy and affection due to bitterness that replaces the initial hope that this relationship would fulfill all your needs and fantasies effortlessly. Number 6. Sabotaged ability to compromise because your expectations feel so rigid and inflexible. The good news is recognizing where unrealistic expectations come from puts you in a position to address them. Let's go over some solutions. Tips to keep expectations healthy. If you currently feel let down by your partner frequently or argue often about them not meeting your standards, here are some excellent ways to reset your expectations to be fair and realistic. Number 1. Communicate needs and wants directly instead of expecting your partner to read your mind and meet every unspoken expectation automatically. Gently express your core needs and give them a chance to respond. Number 2. When communicating needs, make sure you're asking for behaviors your partner can actually control. Don't expect them to fulfill needs that really require work on your own self-esteem or emotional issues. Number 3. Focus on all the wonderful qualities that make your partner uniquely themselves. Appreciate them for who they are rather than comparing them to fantasies. Number 4. For each expectation you have, realistically examine if it's achievable for a flawed human or shaped more by fiction. Our standards get really skewed by media. Number 5. Address childhood attachment style patterns through inner child work, reparenting and therapy if needed. Heal where these expectations come from. Number 6. Build your self-esteem from within so you don't rely on your partner's love for validation. Let their love be a bonus rather than a necessity. Number 7. Get your needs for companionship met through close friends and family too. Don't look to just one person to be your everything. Number 8. When you notice yourself criticizing your partner for failing to meet a standard, self-soothe instead of lashing out. Put yourself in their shoes. Number 9. Make space for your partner to make mistakes, be themselves, and not have to walk on eggshells. Give them room to be human. Number 10. If you and your partner have different visions, have open dialogues to find reasonable compromises. Don't let either person's expectations dominate. Number 11. Notice all the effort your partner does put in rather than staying upset over what's lacking. Express frequent gratitude for both big and small acts of love. Finally, the most important thing is cultivating self-compassion. You're going to slip up sometimes and regress into over-expecting. That's okay, it's a gradual process of growth. Be patient with yourself and don't give up. You've got this. I hope this video gave you some useful perspectives and actionable tips on moving towards healthier, more realistic expectations in your romantic relationships. Let me know in the comments if you want me to expand on any part of this topic in a future video. I'm happy to create more content around all things related to self-love and healthy relationships. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Wishing you the very best on your journey to nurturing the real love you desire and deserve.